Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast, your weekly dose of soul-to-soul conversation that will have you saying peace out to your 9 to 5 to explore in your sacred calling. The topics center around conscious business and interviews with the folks who started them. We'll be exploring the art of being human and what it takes to live your life fully expressed and financially free. I'm Christina Gomes, and I went from high-paying job as a psychotherapist to leaving it all behind for my desire to travel the world playing my original music, to becoming the CEO and soulpreneur founder of freeyourcreativity.org, where I help visionary leaders create the businesses of their wildest dreams. If you have a sacred calling, stick around. My prayer is that you become the permission slip for the collective as you hear the soul-inspiring stories that call you forth into creative action. Let's get to the soul. We are live podcasting for the Conscious Creative Podcast. I'm Christina Gomes. I'm your host. I am so thrilled to be here. I help high-value guides in the making create a high-value offer and share it with the world profoundly in ways that attract their best clients. And today's lesson, transmission topic, is all around your worth. Ooh, really? A little spin. I'm going to talk to you today about 3 reasons why big-hearted, soul-led leaders like you overwork and still yet are underpaid. Okay, so overworking and yet still being underpaid. And we're going to talk about what to do instead. I find that this is very, very important, that I don't just bring up your pain and how hard it is to have this big, beautiful heart and want to help so many people, but not actually have the funds to run a successful business. Because you may know by now, running a business is not just about receiving money. It actually takes money to become successful. It takes money to run a company, really. And so you may be at the stage in your business where you want to hire someone, where you want to start building a legacy. And so we want to get you creating more wealth in your business, creating more profit while still keeping your big, beautiful heart. We're going to unpack 3 reasons why big-hearted folks tend to overwork and yet still are somehow underpaid, and what to do instead. Now, why today's topic is so important is because having a big heart is not the problem here. Having a big heart makes you who you are. Having a big heart is why you chose to be in the kind of business that you are currently in, why you chose to be a facilitator of transformation. This is not just any job. This is a calling. This is a sacred calling. This is a mission. So if you are on path to share your medicine with the world, and you are on path to be highly valued for it, meaning you don't really want to work 1,000 other jobs. You want to be a professional. You want to be the go-to guide in your area of wisdom and knowledge. And maybe you already are to some capacity, and yet you may be finding yourself working really hard because maybe you are working another job to pay the bills, but really you would like to be fully immersed in your sacred calling and have that be enough to not just survive, but thrive in this world. And it is totally possible. I live completely from my gifts, presence, wisdom, programs, offerings. I don't have, I do write also sometimes for other companies. I'm writing a book. And it's all aligned with writing, with sharing my gifts of the written and spoken word. So I completely support my lifestyle, my cat, my world, my travels. Everything that is important to me is completely supported from my gifts. And this was not an easy task, but I want you to know that it's possible. And the what to do instead bit of today's transmission is going to help you to not work less, but to not overwork. We're not trying to stop working. We want to focus on the things in your work in the world, the things that people often say move the needle forward, but how can I put that in a more beautiful, poetic way? The thing that expands your work in the world, the thing that actually has you positioned as the go-to guide so that clients, they want to work with you from only a few posts, from sharing your offer and sharing your offer in a way that has people knowing it is right for them. So let's first unpack why you might be overworking so that we can get to the what to do instead. And so that we can get you highly valued and well paid for your sacred calling. So ultimately you can leave any crummy 9 to 5, or if you enjoy your 9 to 5, so that you can help more people in the world. Ultimately, my work in the world helps you to attract more and better clients so that you can live your sacred calling, so that you can really be fulfilled, so that there are more big-hearted people out there who are gifted and talented in transformation and helping people to transform. And then I actually feel that. I feel my mission in life expanding and rippling out in the world, helping more people to live their mission. And it is truly fulfilling. Okay. So the first reason is because you may be connecting your work to your worth. You may be connecting how much you work to how much you are capable of receiving. So let's unpack why we overwork as humans first. There is a link that I've been helping my clients unlink and detangle between hard work and worth. I have an excellent lesson in my Success Codes mini course, which is actually now 50% off because everything on my website is 50% off until the end of the month. I decided to extend my F Your Black Friday sale indefinitely. And so here we are now, months later in January, and you can get 50% off my entire website, including the Success Code series, where I dive into working class conditioning versus wealth consciousness. But I'm going to dive into a bit of that here. That's just one of the lessons that I cover in that course. And I want to mention that the 50% off my entire site does not include my high touch mentorships. So if you're here and you're in alignment with really being coached in 2024, you're searching for a mentor that is aligned with your values, that could help you to attract more and better clients, this 50% off does not include my high touch mentorships. However, I do have promotions on those mentorships, but let's first see if we're a right fit to work together. And if we are, then I'll let you know what those promotions are. So you got to message me first and we'll feel into each other and see if I can actually help you to create more and better clients in 2024. And if I can't, I have resources that can support you where you currently are. Okay, so where are we? I want to break down these concepts here, working class conditioning versus wealth consciousness, talk about this, unpack this, so that you can understand that your worth is actually completely separate from your worth. Now, you may already know, and you may actually describe to people in your work that your worth is infinite. You may already know this, like logically, and yet there may be some little smatterings of programming that your worth is linked to how hard or how much you work for something. So how much you're able to receive, you may have the programming running that it will depend on how much or how hard you work. Give me a 1 in the comments if you've ever felt like this, if you've ever felt, okay, I don't have what I want, so I just got to work harder for it, right? I don't have what I want, so I just have to work harder for it. And this is a programming. And so I want you to understand that it's not your fault. It's not something that is actually coming from the core of who you are. It's a societal programming. And if your mission is to help people transform, then I can guarantee that you are already on a path to deprogram some of these societal programmings that are not for you, that are not serving you, that are not actually going to attract clients. They're going to repel them. So some of us were born into working class conditioning. Raise your hand if you've been born into working class conditioning. Many of us have. Even if you were born into wealth, that conditioning, that consciousness lives within the society. It's shown in media. We are inundated with this message that if you don't have what you want, you must just not be working harder for it. And then this actually makes us feel like we're not worthy of our desires. But because you live and breathe, you are worthy of your desires. If you desire it, you are actually designed for it. I truly believe that no self-made desire, like a desire that is truly coming from the depths of you and not a desire that's your parents or what society wishes for you or what your ex wishes you could be better at, like a desire that sprouts from the wellspring of your creative essence. If this is moving through you, then you are designed for it because it's holy. And you evolving and growing, and especially helping others to evolve and grow, this is holy. Moving from desire is holy, and just moving from habitual patterning is not. It's a condition. And when we are moving from habitual patterns and in an unconscious way, we're actually moving like robots, which we all know with the boom of AI that robots don't have a soul, or at least that's the theory. Who actually knows? But maybe my computer has a soul. If you do, hello, I love you. You're doing great. Thank you for working and making this live video shine and helping it to reach those who it's most meant to reach. Who knows? Maybe this microphone has a soul. I know that I feel truly soulful when I stand or sit, I'm sitting and chilling, in front of a microphone, and the microphone is extending my soul's essence. It's amplifying my voice, and your voice is that soul, and your voice and you get to voice your desire is where I'm getting at. So bringing it back to the conditioning and why you might be linking your worth with your work is simply because you were born in today's society, and you get to go on the path to decondition this and to unpack this like we're doing now. Now, I was born literally in the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, and it shows. I had a lot more patternings around working class conditioning. I had a lot more messages that I needed to break through around why I kept overworking and then expecting to make more money, and it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening because money doesn't come from how hard you work, especially in the helping profession. Now, like, even in my city, we still celebrate this. Like, I remember being taken on a field trip to the first like industrial mill ever, like a cotton mill, like, and it just was like we were celebrating the Industrial Revolution, which there's no problem in that. We want to accept things as they are. We don't want to go back in history and go like, dang, if like we could have just killed Hitler, or if we could have just blew up the Industrial Revolution, like where would we be now? Like, this is just kind of maybe a waste of your creative energy, because accepting things as they are is one of the highest spiritual concepts that I can think of right now. Acceptance. Like, I'm going to talk about it finally. My cat just passed away. And obviously, like, I don't know if you've been following me for a while, if you're new to my world, but if you follow my stories, like, my cat, Big Boy, was absolutely famous on my stories. Like, I'm obsessed with this cat. I'm obsessed with both my cats. My other cat there is sleeping. So it was a really hard beginning of the year, actually, really right after Christmas. That time, that liminal space between Christmas and New Year, my cat passed away. Like, what the absolute fuck? And like, obviously I grieved, but I just kept hearing these thoughts of like, I could have done something different, or I should have not fed. Like, I couldn't figure out why. It seemed like he was poisoned. And so I kept trying desperately to find who I could blame this on. But because of the work that I do, including myself, like, maybe I fed him the wrong food. Maybe I should have made him an indoor cat. Like, maybe I should have taken him to the vet, even though the vet had said, like, if it seemed like poison, and if I would have taken him earlier, there was nothing that they could have done. I did take him to the vet, and he passed away at the vet. Oh my goodness. So the actual point is that this concept of acceptance is so deeply profound. I cried for 2 days straight. I did nothing but cry, mope around, have a funeral for my cat, ensure that my other cat understood. It's so sad. And I kept noticing that whenever I wasn't in acceptance of what was happening, that I was in suffering. I was in deeper suffering. Now, there's a difference between grieving and suffering, and the quality. I was just really paying attention to my grieving and the quality of it. And whether I was moving into suffering by looking for someone to blame, including myself, or if I was actually grieving and crying and allow myself to feel without all of these stories that normally and naturally come into our consciousness if we are humans. There is a bee. I'm going to accept that this bee is buzzing so that we don't cause any undue suffering. But if it gets stuck in my hair, I'm going to suffer. Okay, great. Amazing. So we choose to suffer. You just saw that in action. Like, my primitive fear mind was like, I will suffer. I'm going to suffer. Like, choosing to suffer. Like, and we don't choose to grieve. We don't choose the lessons that are gifted to us by the universe, but we do get to choose our reactions. So I want you to understand that you can accept that we need money, and we actually need a lot of it, and we need more of it. If we want to thrive, we need more of it. And you can also accept that working harder, toiling, creating a bigger to-do list, picking up rocks and throwing them, like, suffering is optional. Suffering through this business growth game and wonderful evolution that we're on, that isn't always easy. Suffering is a choice. And I want you to know that money truly doesn't come from manual labor. It doesn't come from just more hours. And it doesn't come from how much you suffer through the process. And yeah, I want to talk about wealth consciousness now as well. Anyone who is more aligned with wealth consciousness knows this. Knows that actually time is worth more than money, and how you spend your time matters. And so if you are spending your time choosing to suffer through your to-do list versus pulling cards or doing the mindset work or playing music and dancing around your house, or grieving things, or time in therapy, or time spent with your coach, or time spent visioning. Like, if you are choosing to knock out something on your to-do list just because you feel obligated to it, this energy matters. And energy matters to your money. Energy matters to how attractive you become naturally to your soul aligned clients. Because if you are tending to your soul, then you will be attractive to your soul aligned clients, creating clients and creating money much more easeful. So we've been taught to wear suffering like a badge of honor. And that's why complaining is so attractive, right? Have you ever been in a group of people where no matter what your New Year's resolution is, I don't know how many times I set, like, I'm going to stop complaining as a New Year's resolution. And I get around this group of people, my family especially, and they just want to complain. They just want to suffer. They just want to like complain. It's so attractive because we have in modern society, like, not only worn it as a badge of honor, but we've also infused complaining into our social circles. And if you're a woman or a feminine embodied creature, have feminine qualities, the social circle is going to be primitively, innately linked to survival. So all of these concepts just give you the opportunity to see where you are unconsciously moving like a robot with the programs that exist that don't actually lead to the future that you're calling in, which if you're attracted to my work, then you may be calling in a future where you're doubling your revenue without doubling your work effort, where you're doubling your clientele without doubling your work effort. Now, yes, you're going to deliver more if you're doubling your clientele. And yet, if you love what you do and you love coaching and guiding your clients, it's not going to feel like work. I could have double the clients right now and I would feel blessed because coaching my clients feels like the best thing I can think to do in a day. So amazing. Great. So in this sick and twisted programming that says it was worth more if you suffered for it, you might see things like people being obsessed with suffering. Okay, here's like an example. And if you're one of these people, I'm sorry. But like, people are obsessed with hiking and they're hiking these like amazing trails, which I'm sure add so much to their life. Being in nature is beautiful, but like right now I'm in nature. Like if you've seen my lanai, my front porch, I live in nature. And yet, like some people just love to hike and they lose freaking toenails. They got blisters all over their feet. They like lose all sorts of weight. They're gaunt. And who read that book, Wild? This was someone who was recovering from a heroin addiction. And so it's like, this was someone that, was choosing short-term pleasure that ultimately led to just suffering on all ends. And then to remedy this, decided to put on tighter than normal hiking boots and hike. And of course, like choosing one form of suffering over another matters. Like choosing to suffer through blisters on your feet is probably a better form of suffering than heroin addiction. However, like, do you see what I'm throwing down here? Of like, maybe you are one of those people, but I can tell you that writing love notes to your potential clients with your feet kicked up in a hammock, it's not going to feel like suffering, but it's a skill. Like writing potent pieces of content that actually convert to clients takes skill. It doesn't take suffering. What it does take is skill. So this is this point in the conversation where we talk about what to do instead. We've been taught by society to wear suffering like a badge of honor. This isn't your fault. This is programming. And I'm not knocking you if you're one of those people that, I don't know, wants to hike the Himalayas. It's just not my path. It's just not my path. And if you're a coach who helps people to do like extraordinary things, like that's amazing because like, yes, you will have to have a certain kind of mindset to live an extraordinary life. But you don't have to lose your toenails to attract clients. You don't have to lose your toenails to attract clients. This does not require it. Hard work is not required to attract clients. I also want to let you know you're infinitely worthy. If I didn't mention that, you get to decide that your presence and talents is enough. Your presence, gifts, talents is enough. You get to decide that you're worthy enough to take a course, learn a skill, and be highly valued for your gifts, presence, and talents. You can decide right now that you don't have to work a job that requires a crappy boss or long hours or being like immersed in things that are just of no interest to you. If guiding people is your main mission, it's your main interest, it's what brings you joy and fulfillment, then you might just be missing some skill. You're not missing the suffering. You don't have to suffer. You don't need 4 years of therapy to decide today to take actions as if you are already worthy of clients and money. Because the truth is you are. The truthy truth is that you are. Now, I sat at the foot of a monk, which maybe some of you could consider a form of suffering. Eventually it turned into suffering when I realized that it was also replacing, an addiction to an extremist culture. But I sat in an ashram for years, learning at the foot of a monk to ultimately discover the truth that we are infinitely worthy. We are worthy beyond how much money we make. We're worthy beyond how well our business is doing. We're worthy beyond how viral we've gone in our content. We're worthy beyond any circumstance that we might be experiencing right now. And we must and get to understand that first before we can create a different circumstance, a different mirroring back to us. We actually get to decide. And the thing that not most people talk about is, yes, you get to decide and you get to visualize and you get to have your affirmations, but then you get to walk as if you're already worthy. So you get to walk as if you're already worthy of clients and money. So the what to do instead is, what would you write if you were already worthy of money and clients? Even if you don't believe that yet, what would you write? What action would you take if you were? Let's just make pretend. And this is how you create a bridge from needing 4 years of therapy on self-worth to actually just creating the skills and then getting the result. So the result of walking as if you're already worthy is you will be living in the ultimate truth, because the truth is you are already worthy. Does that make sense? A little tongue twister. A little monkish vibes. Amazing. So you don't have to sit. Let me save you 4 years of sitting at the foot of a monk. Let me save you 4 years of therapy. And let me save you losing all your toenails, hiking some mountain to suffer. If you like hiking, I love you. I'll do a small hike. I'll walk a path with you. I love walking. I try to walk every day. Amazing. Beyond the point. I digress. You are truly worthy of money and clients, and because you exist. You're truly worthy of your desire because you desire it so. You're designed for it. All right. So let's get to number 2. Amazing. The reason number 2 why big-hearted folks tend to overwork and yet are underpaid. So we talked about the overworking part, but let's unpack the underpaid part, right? Because you may have noticed that you are in charge of your price. And that doesn't make it any easier, but you may have noticed that when you are your own boss and you have your own company and you have your own programs and offerings, that you are in charge of how much you get paid. So you have the thought, let me know if this is true. Do you have the thought, have you ever thought that it's nicer to have a low price, that it's more spiritual, that it's more nice to be accessible? And so you have underpriced what your program, offering, service is actually worth. Not what you're worth. You're infinitely worthy. We already went down on that, right? But your program and the transformation that people are able to create from your offering, service, program, course, retreat, whatever it is that you're offering, like, that's worth something. And that's most likely worth more than the price you've priced it at. However, because your message isn't clear, your message doesn't speak to what actually invites people to purchase, to sign on to work with you, to go through that journey and process with you of transforming their life, you're not speaking to that clearly and in ways that invite high-paying, joy-to-work-with clients to invest with you. Those people are already looking to invest. Your best clients are already looking for you. However, you're not positioned with your message just yet to be speaking to that person. So you're speaking to people who are looking for cheap or accessible because that's what your price is speaking. And then your message also is speaking to people who might be looking for a quick fix or for someone to save them. And so it's all aligned with this low value, with the low value. And you might have the thought, and you might keep continuing on this path, even though it's misaligned, because you see yourself as a nice person. And you have linked a low price to nice, but this isn't true. Why this thought is detrimental to your creative success is because it's not truth. And anything that is untrue is going to slow down your inevitable success and your inevitable rise. It's just not true. So this thought is detrimental to your creative success also because why the fractal are you even desiring to be nice? I have had to work through this. So please, if you are working through the nice girl conditioning also, so you're working through the working class conditioning, you're working through nice girl conditioning like me, there is possibility for you to create six figures, even though you are working through the working class conditioning and the nice girl conditioning. I have it. It's based on our survival. If I'm not nice, then who will love me? If I'm not loved by my parents, then I can't survive. If I'm not loved by the community, it relates to survival. And so if you're working through survival, then how can you thrive? If you're focused unconsciously on survival, and if you're focused on being nice, then you're focused unconsciously on survival, then how can you thrive? It's polarity. Survival and thrival are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Those who are in survival, it's hard to see the forest through the trees. It's hard to see long term. But if you want to move into thriving energy, you actually get to move into thriving energy, walk as if you're thriving first, and then we'll kind of move away from survival. I mean, if you don't have any money, then you shouldn't be here right now. You should be looking for a job. You should be, yes. Because, and I want to say that because trying to acquire clients from a survival energy will feel really icky. And you don't want that ick factor in your sales conversations. You can also get coached on this and work through this with me. And I mean, there's been plenty of times way back when I needed clients, but I learned to not put that on my clients because that ain't cool. That's not cool to do to them. And they will feel that and they will not want to work with you. They won't know why. Because it's a graspy, needy energy. So needing clients to survive and also needing clients to prove that you're worthy, that's survival mentality. Whether you have money, a lot of money, savings accounts, a job, basic survival money coming in or not, needing clients to prove that you're valuable or worthy is the same kind of conditioning. It's the same kind of consciousness, and bringing that into a sales conversation will repel high paying joy to work with clients. So you'll end up attracting clients who are also needy and are in survival and need you to fix them. And I have somebody like harassing me right now in my freaking messages and in my content, talking to me like a heinous like beast, and then expecting me to be nice. No, I have dropped the nice girl act. I'm nice to my clients. I'm soft with my clients. But if you fuck with me, everything in provider energy, protective, will come out. The masculine in me, the warrior in me, protects that child that I reparent myself. So do not come up in my inbox with your nasty ass comments, because I don't care. Anyway, that was not for you, kind people, big-hearted people. That was for one person in particular, and you know who you are. Okay, so what to do instead? First of all, let's unpack why you want to be nice in the first place. Because if it's not coming from a genuine place and you actually want to like qualify your energy field and chop the heads off of demons and like Cardi B it of like make a joke at other people's expense who are trying to come at you with energy that isn't of your like for you. That shit ain't for you. That's a projection. That shit ain't for you. If that shit ain't for you, chop its head off. Man. Like, it's not. And here's the thing. For those of you who are genuinely nice, for those of you where it's not an act, where it's not a cover up, where it's not a survival, you're genuinely nice, you're big-hearted. Like, I'm a big-hearted person. I'm genuinely nice until you mess with me. But I am genuinely nice. Like, I had to decide that it was actually nicer. How is it nice? Here it is. Here's the download. Here's the channel. How is it actually nice to think that other people are too broke and poor to afford your offerings at the price that is actually they're actually worth? It's not nice. It's not nice to limit what someone is capable of. It's not nice to limit what someone is capable of. Right? If you look at someone and they like don't seem to be dressed in a way that, I mean, I wear secondhand clothes. I love it for the slow fashion of it, for the upcycle, recycled concept of it. And so you'll catch me in handmade things, secondhand things. And what if my coach, when I signed up for a $50,000 program, what if she didn't think, because my hair is all crazy and I live in a developing country and I live on a dirt path and I choose a simple life and I ride a tuk-tuk to the center of the village I live. What if she thought, oh, she obviously can't afford my work? I would have never received her wisdom. I would have never also invested in myself at that level. Maybe not never, but I wouldn't have invested in myself in that level at that moment. And I wouldn't be who I am today, because it is those investments in myself. It is those moments where I chose the scariest thing possible to invest more than my master's level education in one coaching program, because I saw the value. Hey there, visionary leader. If you're resonating with this message, I'd like to invite you into your next level life and business. Enrollment has begun for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. This is my signature group container to help you design an offer so delicious, so juicy, so based on your soul gifts that you are thrilled to invite your soulmate clients inside of it. I'm going to teach you how to promote this offer with a ton of heart and to sell out this offer with ease to meet your revenue goals. I would love to have you inside if you are a visionary leader who knows that they are great at what they do. You'd like to collapse the timeline on how long it takes to reach consistent income with an offer that you truly love. Go to the link in the show notes to apply for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. I will be sitting with your application individually, and I will send an email to let you know if you've been accepted in a few days after application. Thank you for trusting me with your vision, and I can't wait to see what we co-create. And that brings me to number 3, okay? We've been taught that these skills that we have as coaches, mentors, healers, guides, facilitators of transformation, we've been taught also by society that these skills are not as valuable as whatever kind of skills are making people billions of dollars. Whatever kind of, like, whether it's tech or software or like, working on an oil rig, like, yes, this is a dangerous job. I knew someone that worked on an oil rig. I found out how much they got paid. Understandably, it's a dangerous job. And yet, are oil rigs the future? No. What is the future? What is essential to the future of humanity is the skills that you and I can contain within our human expression, that we were either naturally gifted with or have taken all these certifications, which if you've taken all these certifications and got trained in processes because you desired to help people, then you are naturally born with the gift of helping people and serving humanity, and helping one person to transform, helping one person to have better health, or to create more success, or to have better relationships. This ripples out to help people to awaken, to help people transform. I actually went to undergrad to become a teacher, an educator. And then I went into psychology instead. And I got my master's in clinical psychology and undergrad in education and psychology, double major. But I originally thought I wanted to be a teacher, and a lot of my friends are teachers, and they don't get paid a lot. They don't get paid. And even as a psychotherapist, I got paid a little bit more than my teacher friends, but it wasn't enough to thrive. It was like minimum wage. It was like a minimum life. And I'm not here for that. I'm here for a full, expansive life. I'm here, and you are here to go to that retreat, not to choose, can I go to therapy this year, or go to my retreat, or invest back into my business. All of it. You get to have all of that. And if you are undercharging, this is why you're overworking. So coming back to number 2, if you're undercharging because you think it's more nice, because nicer, that ain't cool. But also, you've been taught that these skills aren't valuable. So of course you're putting a price tag based on other people's thoughts. That, oh, you're a teacher, so you don't make as much as the tech software companies. No, you're creating a company that is actually helping the world. And if you're not going to value that, how can we expect other people to value that? So it's up to us, the visionary leaders, the leaders of this industry, you and me and anybody who is creating a program in 2024 or has a program to sell in 2024 and offering a service, we get to decide what the market value is of that. And it's not by having an astronomical price that no one can afford. My prices are very affordable compared to other business coaches. But they match the value of what my clients are able to create by coming through my programs. So if you are able to help somebody attract a relationship after divorce, like, how valuable is that to them? How much time do they save? How much money do they save not having to go on a bunch of random dates because you are helping them to up-level their eHarmony profile, or up-level their dating skills, ask the right questions on a date because you care about your client's results. And so you're an amazing facilitator, and you're going to facilitate someone's true and deep transformation. And this is valuable to them. But if you price it at $97, those people who actually value this in their life, they don't want it. And so It's about learning how to speak about your offers that match the true value. It's about learning how to express the truest value of your offer in 2024 so you can unlink your hard work with your worth and price, but not just price, be able to attract a client at that price. So do you see what I'm saying here? That the reason why you're not attracting clients is not because your price is too high or too low. It's because you haven't yet learned how to express the truest value of your work, which just so happens to be what I help my clients to create. I help them to create the energy of a high value guide so that their price flows off of them. So you can raise your price and your price flows off of you. Saying your price feels like a natural expression. And we work on your message so that your message matches your resonant energy. So once your resonant energy is aligned with someone who truly values their sacred calling, then your words, we're going to uplift them. We're going to elevate your message. We're going to share words that match. So to master the self, right, and unite with the higher self. So to master who you're being, to master a higher version of you and a more highly valued version of you, it just takes going on that process. And investing in yourself is the first part of that process. So I'm not talking about here overcharging just to like, hey, let's all get together and overcharge. No. If we work together, I would help you to see the truest value of working with you and then embody that. And from there, write and speak words that transmit that. And to stand in front of the microphones of the world, and be able to confidently express the value of what it is to work with you. Amazing. So 3 reasons. The 3 reasons why big-hearted people overwork and are underpaid. Let me go through these quickly. Let me give an overview really quickly. So reason number 1 is we tend to, as humans, overwork as a badge of honor. We tend to equate suffering with money. The more that we suffer, or like money, yes, but like the more that we suffer and the harder we work for something, then the like more worth we are, then the more it's worth it, right? And you've heard this message, but we unpacked that today. 2, the reason big-hearted people overwork and are underpaid is because we are still playing nice. Big-hearted doesn't mean nice. Big-hearted doesn't mean nice. And nice isn't actually nice. Being nice, thinking that it's nice to limit somebody's capability of investing in themselves, thinking that they're too poor or they don't look like they have the money, or deciding for them what they can afford isn't actually nice. So do you even want to play nice? Because like overly nice and people pleasing is being boundaryless, and then you're drained and you actually don't have the capacity to work with more and better clients because you're focused on these people who are draining your energy because you don't have boundaries to say, this isn't a right fit. This is who I work with. This is the level that you get to come to me at. And that's beautiful. And price is an energetic boundary. And so having a lower price because you think it's nicer is also lowering your boundaries. So raise your price to a price that is expansive versus nice. Okay. And then number 3 is because you've been taught that your skills of coaching, mentoring, healing, teaching, guiding, transformation, your intuitive skills, you've been taught that your intuitive skills are not valuable. Do we value philosophers? Do we value artists in society? Do we value teachers? Historically, we haven't. And we are together bringing a renaissance into the coaching industry. That's what my 2024 year is all about. And that is my word, renaissance. In 2024, we are bringing a renaissance to the coaching industry where we are valued, where we are choosing to value ourselves, and we are expressing the truest value of our work in the world. What is the value of working with you? And it's not just price. What is the value? What can someone create in their lives? And if you would like help understanding and understanding your value as a facilitator, and then being able to express that through energy and words seamlessly so that more clients and better clients, more right fit clients, more joy to work with clients are attracted to your offers from only a few posts, then I invite you to apply to work with me. There are a few ways to work with me depending on where you're at. So I would love for you to go to the link in my bio on Instagram and send me a message. I ask you what you're here for, and depending on what your answer is, I will invite you onto a call, a high value offer audit. And if you're also on Instagram or on Facebook or listening on the podcast, you can download my high value offer checklist. And this checklist comes with 2 special things. So the high value offer checklist comes with 4 essential ingredients that are included in any high value offer. So if you're not sure if the offer you have in your heart or the offer you want to create in your offer suite this year is actually of high value, then download this checklist. It comes with my model of business training that's going to teach you how I replaced my income as a psychotherapist my first year with this type of offer and this model of business. And then it comes with something really cool. It comes with the opportunity to, to modify this, to personalize this checklist to you. I'm inviting you on a high value offer audit from that checklist. So you get the link to book that high value offer audit where I'll be auditing your offer, whether or not, yes, but also how to infuse those 4 essential ingredients into your offer or the offer you have in your scribbled in your notebook, ready to start putting forth. So I also have 3 ways to work with me in 2024 so far. So you already heard that everything into January, to the end of January, on my site, all my courses are 50% off with the code HALF-OFF. If you go to freeyourcreativity.org/work-with-me, you'll get a list of all my courses, and you can get half off bundles, toolkits, all these beautiful things that are going to help you to up-level your business in 2024. And I also have 1 space available in my Magnum Opus mentorship at the group level. If that space has already been taken by the time you are watching this replay or listening to this podcast, then I have raised my price, but I haven't raised it to the full price that it's designed to be. So I have a space at the group rate, and then I have a few spaces available at a introductory rate as well. And then I have, how else? There's a third way. I have a 1-month high value offer incubator, which is a private mentorship, and it's 1 month long. So it's super affordable right now. And it's designed for those who are in go mode, because we only have a month. So it's designed to create the assets that are going to sell your high value offer for years to come. So if you are thinking of this 1 month high value offer incubator, then also download my high value offer checklist, grab your free offer audit, because all of these private mentorships are only available if we talk, if I get a feel that I can actually help you. Because if you need more than a month, and lots of people do, this is not to say that it wouldn't work for you, but it's not for everyone. It's for people who are in go mode, who are designing or refining a high value offer in 2024. You know that you want to do that. You know that you desire to fill this program up in the beginning of the year in Q1. And so we would be in go mode. So basically, I will be there for mindset work, but you've got to have had done a lot of the mindset work already. So you're at a certain level with mindset work. You're at a certain level with your worth and detangling your worth from your work. And if you desire or more mindset work and you know you're not in go mode, then the 4-month mentorship is probably a right fit, or one of my self-paced courses. So those are all the lovely invites to go deeper with me. If you're resonating, if you're craving support from me, if you're craving a business where you feel fulfilled and client attraction comes a little more easy this year, a little more easeful, a little more in flow, then I'm your girl. I'm so excited to hear more about your offer ideas in the high value offer audit. And I will see you next week for our live podcasting. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.